Why did you decide to start really investing in the ecosystem, and what are your favorite plays at the moment?
So here's the way I look at it. I've been in the software industry for my whole career. For the learning company days when we used to make software for reading and math test scores, I've been dealing with engineers my entire professional investing life. Bitcoin is not a coin. Bitcoin is software. Ethereum is software. Solana is software. HBAR is software. Polygon is software. It's all software. Now, I'm a very fortunate guy. I believe in investing in the hottest hand over the keyboard, the best teams. Because at the end of the day, the only reason this is going to work is because these platforms provide some kind of economic value. And I argue to investors that say to me, what do you mean you're investing in crypto? If you're going to invest in Google, and you're going to invest in Microsoft in core holdings in an equity portfolio, 5% each, that's very common, very common. What is Microsoft? It's software. What is Google? It's software. What is the difference between that and investing in Ethereum or investing in any of the other platforms I talked about? It's all the same, with the added benefit that these coders are the hottest hands in the world right now. Meet the Polygon team. I met them in Dubai just a few weeks ago, became an investor in their deal because I love the fact they're aggregating transactions to reduce gas fees. Very productive idea. That's a great team. So for me, I'm placing my bets across all of these different platforms, not knowing with certainty what's going to work and what isn't, but investing in the software. So if you wrap your head around the idea that really cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies are all software, it's much easier if you're an institution to understand, okay, I get what I'm doing. Now, obviously, Microsoft and Yahoo stock or Google stock, is regulated. It's an equity. We don't have that platform yet for these software platforms, but it's coming. And my attitude is I want to be invested now because we're in the first inning. So where do I have to go? I have to go to Canada. I have to go to Switzerland. I have to go to UAE. I have to go to Germany. And I do. I get on a plane and I go there and I find teams and I invest in them, and India as well.
If I want exposure to NFTs, which NFT project do I buy? Should I buy a Bored Ape? Should I go, invest in any of these small metaverse games? And I sort of tell them that these layer ones, as you described, behave like index funds. Just put a small investment into each layer one and you'll get the benefit of whatever happens on that chain. So it sort of echoes my own thinking. You've obviously taken it a step further by investing in the picks and shovels of the space, which we're seeing from a lot of venture capital and people, right? You have your platform, WonderFi. You just did the acquisition of BitBuy. I'd love to hear how that materialized.
Well, you're right. I'm a big believer in investing in the infrastructure of the nascent industry. It's the picks and shovels analogy for the gold rush. But in the case of BitBuy, that was the very first market exchange awarded by the regulator in Canada. And you got to remember, the regulator in Canada is very progressive. Again, they were the first to do ETFs in Bitcoin, the first to do ETFs in Ethereum. And it took years, but that was the very first award. And it has 375,000 accounts. And what you like about an exchange is you're agnostic to asset price. You, in fact, like volatility. And I know with certainty, and this reminds me of the early days of Amazon. I've been an Amazon shareholder for 17 years. It corrected 50% to 30%, 38%, 48% every year, sometimes twice. It was immensely volatile, but look where you are today. When it comes to crypto, same thing. So if you own the exchange, you are actually participating in the volatility and you're agnostic to the price, not just on Bitcoin, to Ethereum and other assets. And so for me, that's very important. And I like what WonderFi is doing because that's just one of their mandates. They're also simplifying decentralized finance because it's incredibly complicated to actually set up and maintain a DeFi wallet. Most people can't do it. So they're making that a lot easier. And I've got great partners, Josh Richardson, who's got 40 million followers of, Gen Zers that are very interested in crypto, are part of this. It's a great team of investors. We love the management there. We like what they're doing in the Canadian market. And it's a way that I can invest and be compliant, 100% compliant. That's what really matters to me because I've got so many other investments in financial services that are regulated. I cannot afford to be offside for 1 second. So that's the way I look at it. And I would say something else here that's important. What's missing in this industry is the infrastructure to be compliant. So if I'm an institution, I want to put $1 billion into crypto, What do I do? How do I mark to market it? How do I show my compliance department every trade by the second, the same way I do with stocks and bonds? I need big platforms. There's where FTX comes in. I became a shareholder in FTX as well. That is an institutional grade compliant platform. You can get the reporting on there. It's centralized. You can manage a portfolio. You can do a global search for whatever you want to do, but your compliance department can also see what you're doing, which is what you need. And so we need more of that. And that's very important. As they're growing that business, FTX stands probably in the centralized wallet space to be the best for institutions. And by the way, I am a paid spokesperson, so let me disclose that. But there's a reason. I'm using it. I use it.
Right. Well, I know that you would never advertise something that you weren't using. And I think that that's the sentiment across the market, is that FTX is the leader there. I just had Sam on the podcast for the third time last week. I'm a huge fan of everything they're doing and a cheerleader. And it's nice to be in Tom Brady's company as a spokesperson, right? I mean, that's cool.
Well, I got to put a football helmet on and fool around with him on the field sometime. I mean, the guy's wonderful, and I'm a huge fan, obviously. That guy is just it's phenomenal what he's done in football. It's just magic. But I love the fact that FTX is wanting to become a household name, because it really is true that eventually everybody will use this asset class, and you want to basically stake your market share now. That makes total sense to me. But what I was able to do, and it took me 6 months, it took a long time, when we were building up the platform to actually get my internal compliance department to even let me stake stablecoin, they said, show me the reports. How do we check in on the leverage you've got on at any 1 second of the day before the market closes? And that was the key to be able to say, look, here's the FTX platform. Here's all my 32 positions. You can go online and look at it any second you want, and we'll close out at the end of the day, although the crypto markets are 24/7. You can come on anytime you want and look at it. I started internal compliance, got them on board. Then I went to my external auditors and said, will you sign my statements? And they said, are you kidding? This stuff is unregulated. 6 months later, I got them on side. So this is the birthing pain of every institution trying to get into this and getting their compliant departments, which have been around for decades, to actually work with this stuff when we have such nascent platforms.